Let's take a look at the headlines we're tracking this hour. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh reaffirms India's commitment towards United Nations mission to maintain international peace and security, addresses United Nations troop contributing countries chiefs conclave in New Delhi. In a big boost to India's artificial intelligence ecosystem, Google announces $10 billion AI and data center investment in Andhra Pradesh's Visakhapatnam. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold talks with visiting Mongolian President Kurel Suk and review the entire gamut of bilateral relations. China begins collecting special port fee from US-owned, operated, built or flagged vessels, exempts Chinese-built ships. US also to implement new port entry service fee. Shubman Gill secures his first Test century victory as captain as KL Rahul's unbeaten 50 guides India to a comfortable 7-wicket win over West Indies in the second Test at New Delhi. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today reaffirmed India's commitment to a rules-based international order, highlighting the importance of regional security and cooperation. Addressing the conference of heads of United Nations troop-contributing countries in New Delhi, he said that at a time when some nations are violating international rules openly, India is advocating for reformation of outdated international structures.
Friends, nowadays, some nations are openly violating the international rules. Some are trying to undermine it, while some want to create their own rules and dominate the next century. In all this, India, while advocating for the reformation of outdated international structures, stands strong in upholding the international rules-based order.
On the occasion, Rajnath Singh asserted that India has stood firm with the United Nations in its mission to maintain international peace and security. He said that to strengthen peacekeeping missions, India is developing cost-effective indigenous technologies to enhance responsiveness and safety.
Under Atmanirbhar Bharat, India has developed cost-effective indigenous technology that strengthens peacekeeping missions of land mobility platforms, secure communications, surveillance systems, UAVs, and medical support solutions. These innovations enhance situational awareness, responsiveness, and safety.
The 3-day conference brings together senior military leaders from 32 nations that contribute troops to UN peacekeeping missions. As one of the largest contributors to UN missions, India aims to share best practices, build consensus and promote inclusivity under the ethos of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family. The program features addresses along with plenary sessions, defense exhibitions, bilateral talks and cultural exchanges. Earlier, Chief of the Army Staff, General Upendra Dwivedi, welcomed the participants and reflected on India's deep-rooted legacy in UN peacekeeping from Korea to Congo, with involvement in 51 missions to date. He described his own 1993 deployment as a proud moment, adding that only a soldier can effectively carry out peacekeeping.
Apart from being a security provider, he is a diplomat, a technology enthusiast, a nation builder in far-flung areas, and also maybe the only media for flow of information in conflict zones. The blue helmet, or caste blue, can in fact be called the glue that binds a mission and facilitates the functioning of the other organs of United Nations as also the NGOs. Given this crucial role of peacekeepers, we have no choice but to be future ready, which may require bold imagination and practical adaptation.
In a landmark AI initiative, Google, in collaboration with the Indian government, has announced the establishment of a new gigawatt-scale AI hub in Visakhapatnam, representing a $15 billion investment over 5 years. At the Bharatiya Aya Shakti Forum, Union Minister for Railways and IT, Ashwini Vaishnav, Union Minister for Finance, Nirmala Sitharaman, Andhra Pradesh's Minister for IT and HRD, Nara Lokesh, and Google Cloud CEO Thomas Kurian discussed India's growing digital leadership and its vision for Viksit Bharat. The event highlighted the launch of an AI hub and undersea cables in Andhra Pradesh, emphasizing on the synergy between progressive policy making and dynamic governance. The minister stressed on the importance of forward-thinking policies and leadership in positioning India as a global leader in technology and the AI revolution, aiming for developed status by 2047. Google Cloud CEO Thomas Kurian said that this hub will be the largest AI facility Google would build outside the US. Kurian said that the next 5 years of the capital investment would total $15 billion.
We're very pleased to announce a new gigawatt scale AI hub in Visakhapatnam. It's the largest AI hub that we are going to be investing in anywhere in the world outside of the US. It represents a capital investment over the next 5 years of $15 billion.
Earlier, Union Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu said that this investment is not just for Andhra Pradesh but also for the country.
Today is a historic day. I'm very happy that Google is announcing $10 billion data center in the state of Andhra Pradesh in Visakhapatnam. This $10 billion investment is going to create jobs up to 1,88,000. And also the kind of ancillaries and the other industries, other data centers, other technology infrastructure that is going to come is going to boost the GDP of more than 11,000 crores every year. That is the scale, that is the capacity of the investment that we are talking about.
Sai Sistala joins us from Andhra to get us more on the phone line. Sai, good afternoon. Get us more details on this. We tell our viewers that an AI hub has been announced in Visakhapatnam in collaboration with Google. What will it mean for the region? And also, to what extent will it give fillip to India's digital ambitions? All right, Sai, I'll get back to you. But at present, to our viewers, we are getting you these visuals from Hyderabad House in the national capital, where Mongolian President Khural Sukh is flanked by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Is welcomed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi ahead of the bilateral talks. These are the visuals from Hyderabad House, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is welcoming the visiting dignitary Mongolian president, and both the leaders will be holding bilateral talks. The talks are expected to include the wide gamut of bilateral relations between India and Mongolia and focus on the areas of collaboration that will further strengthen the relationship between the two countries. These are the visuals we're getting for you from Hyderabad House, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be holding bilateral talks with Mongolian President. India's diplomatic relations with Mongolia were established in 1955, that is, to be precise, 24th of December 1955. And in January 1956, the first Mongolian ambassador was posted to New Delhi. Also, the first ever visit by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Mongolia happened in May 2015. And here we see both the leaders planting a sapling at Hyderabad House, which is symbolic of new beginnings, of strengthening the relationship. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and visiting dignitary Mongolian president at the Hyderabad House planting a sapling ahead of the bilateral talks. Prime Minister Narendra Modi the first visit of Prime Minister Modi to Mongolia happened in May 2015 to mark the 60th anniversary of the establishment of the diplomatic relations between the two countries. And in fact, that has brought a paradigm shift in the relationship It has been elevated to the level of strategic partnership. And ever since then, both the countries have had high delegation level talks to further cement and strengthen the relationship. Earlier in the day, the Mongolian president also paid tributes to Father of the Nation at Rajghat. And here, at present in the visuals, we see Prime Minister Narendra Modi accompanying visiting dignitary Mongolian president at Hyderabad House to hold bilateral talks. Both the leaders are flanked by their respective delegations, which will discuss issues that are central to the relationship and that will help in strengthening the partnership, the relationship between both the countries. As part of the Act East policy, Prime Minister visited Mongolia in May 2015. And the relationship of both the countries was elevated to the strategic level partnership. So the discussions, the bilateral talks between Mongolia and India are taking place at Hyderabad House. We will keep you updated once the talks end. Meanwhile, going back to the story we were tracking, a new AI hub in collaboration with Google has been announced in Visakhapatnam. And to get us more on that, our correspondent Sai Sistala is joining us from Andhra Pradesh. Sai, good afternoon. We've told our viewers about the AI hub that will be set up in Visakhapatnam in collaboration with Google. This is indeed a big move, but help us understand to what extent will it help the region and also further cement the digital ambitions of the country?
Hi, good afternoon. Since its inception in the last year, the government of Andhra Pradesh is developing Andhra Pradesh as an AI hub. In this region, the Andhra Pradesh government is making an agreement with Google for the establishment of data center in Visakhapatnam. This $15 billion investment is going to create around 1,88,000 of jobs, and as the Civil Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu said, it is going to be developed. It is going to create auxiliary growth in other sector also, thereby developing and increasing the GDP by 11,000 crores. And this investment by Google is going to be one of the biggest investment in South Asian nation. And along with the data center, the Google is going to establish AI infrastructure and the large scale energy source also in Visakhapatnam. That is, this investment is going to be one of the largest investment by Andhra Pradesh. Hello.
Yes, I also get us a sense of about the timeline. By when can this facility be set up? Do we know anything more about that?
Yeah, currently today the government of Andhra Pradesh is making an agreement with Google. So we don't have any current timeline about when the data center is going to be established. The land pooling in Visakhapatnam area is already completed mostly. So the government of Andhra Pradesh is taking extra care in making the Google data center established very soon, and all the jobs are made to be available very soon in Visakhapatnam.
All right, Sai, we leave it here. Thank you so much for joining in with those details. That was our correspondent Sai Sasitala joining us from Andhra Pradesh and telling us more about the big announcement made by Google that the company will be setting up an AI hub in Visakhapatnam. We'll keep you the details. We'll keep you updated with the details. Meanwhile, let's turn focus to other updates. India has slammed Pakistan for violating the agenda of the UN's Children and Armed Conflict by carrying out attacks in Afghanistan, and India targeting schools and students. Delivering India's statement on promotion and protection of rights of children, BJP leader Nishikant Dubey described Pakistan as one of the worst violators of the UN's Children and Armed Conflict agenda and pointed out serious issues not just within Pakistan but also in neighboring regions.
Positive achievement in their reports. Pakistan, on the other hand, is an example of stark contrast. It is a country that stands among the most serious violators of the CAC agenda. We categorically reject their attempt to divert global attention from the grave abuses committed against children within its own borders and corroborated in 2025 Secretary General's report on CAC, as well as its ongoing cross-border terrorism. Beyond its borders, the same report elaborates Pakistan's attacks on schools, particularly girls' schools, on healthcare workers, and highlights incidents along with the Afghanistan border where Pakistani cross-border shelling and airstrikes were directly responsible for the killing and maiming of Afghan children.
He thanked member nations for recognizing New Delhi's efforts to uphold child rights through initiatives such as the Child Helpline and steps taken to counter child trafficking, and also condemned Pakistan's attempt to shift attention away from these abuses.
My chair, the international community has not forgotten the brutal targeted attacks carried out by Pakistani-trained terrorists, which claims the lives of 26 innocent civilians in Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir on 22nd April 2025. In a measured and non-escalatory response, India's exercised its legitimate right to defend its people against terrorism and bring its organizers, the perpetrators, to justice, and the conducted targeted strikes in May 2025 under Operation Sindoor against 9 terrorist hubs. In contrast, Pakistan deliberately targeted our borders, villages, resulting in civilian deaths, including children. Pakistan must look itself in the mirror, stop preaching sermons in this form, act to protect children within its own borders, and stop targeting women and children across its borders. Thank you.
Nishikant Dubey is leading India's parliamentary delegation at the UNGA. The delegation arrived in New York on Tuesday to participate in the General Assembly proceedings. In Jammu and Kashmir, the army foiled an infiltration bid along the line of control in Kumkhadi area of Kupwara district. Now, according to these sources in the Indian Army, the bid resulted in killing of 2 terrorists. The encounter broke out after alert troops of the army, assisted by Jammu and Kashmir police, detected suspicious movement along the LOC and engaged the infiltrating group on Monday evening. The operation was launched amid heightened vigilance along the border in the wake of increased infiltration attempts before winter sets in. Speaking to Doordarshan, GOC of Army's 28 Vijay Division in Kupwara said due to the challenging terrain and possibility of more terrorists in the vicinity, a massive cordon and search operation is ongoing. You're watching DD India Live. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, hostages and prisoners reunite with their families as US President Trump says the deal opens doors to rebuilding. Zelensky to meet Trump in Washington to discuss US Tomahawk missile support for Ukraine. France targets deficit cut to 4.7% by 2026, a new budget plan to be presented in National Assembly today.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. After the break, you're watching DD India Live. China's Ministry of Transport announced that starting 14th of October, special port charges will apply to the United States vessels at Chinese ports. This measure responds to the US port service fee, effective the same day, targeting Chinese-owned, operated, flagged or built ships following a Section 301 investigation by the United States Trade Representative into China's maritime, logistics and shipbuilding sectors. Early this year, President Trump's administration announced plans to levy the fee on China-linked ships to loosen that country's grip on the global maritime industry and bolster US shipbuilding. In a reprisal against China curbing exports of critical minerals, Trump on Friday threatened to slap additional 100% tariffs on goods from China and put new export controls on any and all critical software by 1st of November. It was a momentous day with scenes of celebration as Israel's last surviving hostages returned home from Gaza after 2 years. Meanwhile, hundreds of Palestinian prisoners and detainees were released as part of the final phase of US President Donald Trump's peace plan. We get to more details.
Why?
For some, it is a moment that has taken a long time to come. For many, it's a moment they were waiting for. And for the entire world, it's a moment that has brought a sense of calm and welcome relief. Tears, cheers, and tightly held embraces, Israel's last surviving hostages have come home after 2 harrowing years in Gaza captivity. The release of hostages took place in stages. They were released in 2 groups, one group of 7 and a group of 13. They were first handed to the International Committee of the Red Cross by Hamas in Gaza. They were then met by IDF troops who escorted them back to Israel. Families were reunited at medical centers. The newly freed hostages are now receiving urgent medical care. Some weak, malnourished, others still in shock, but not all made it back alive. The Israeli military received 4 coffins. The remains of 4 hostages returned by Hamas, while the fate of 24 others remains unknown. And across the divide, another kind of homecoming. In Gaza and the West Bank, joy echoed through the streets, over 1,900 Palestinian prisoners and detainees freed. Many unanswered questions and a nation unsure if this fragile calm is the beginning of lasting peace or just another pause in a painful cycle.
The bottom line is this really a peace deal, or is this only a hostage release deal plus a temporary ceasefire? It's still unclear, but I'm fearful that it's more the latter than the former.
But even in celebrations, questions linger about what happens next and whether or not the plan really will be a path to lasting peace. In Hostages Square, a clock keeping the count of amount of days the hostages have been in Gaza is still ticking. Bureau Report, DD India.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Monday that he would meet US President Donald Trump in Washington on Friday. During a press conference with the EU's top diplomat, Kaja Kallas, Zelensky said that he had shared with Trump a vision of how many US Tomahawk missiles Ukraine needs for its conflict effort against Russia, and that the 2 leaders would further discuss details on the matter on Friday. While Trump has said that he is considering sending Tomahawks to Ukraine, though he has also said that he might talk to Russian President Vladimir Putin about it.
I will have possibility to come to Washington and have a meeting on Friday with President. The main topic is air defense, and also I will have a meeting with energy companies. I needed that was a proposition from President, and yes, and I will have meeting with some companies because there are some needs, what we need now because of different format of attacks, even not those attacks which Russia already did. Yes, but we have to prepare in any case.
French Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu will present a draft 2026 budget to the Parliament before Tuesday's constitutional deadline on Tuesday. The draft budget would aim to cut costs by 31 billion euros through a mix of spending cuts and increased revenue. According to a French media house, the budget is expected to include a tax measure targeting holding companies used by the wealthy and will not raise pensions and social benefits in line with inflation. The lawmakers will debate for 70 days to examine and approve the plan, a process that has already toppled his 2 predecessors. The 2025 Nobel Peace Prize laureate Maria Corina Machado said that Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's time is up. In an interview, she said that Maduro currently has the opportunity to move towards a peaceful transition.
Porque no tengo duda alguna que estamos en una cuenta regresiva. I have no doubt that we are in a countdown. I must confess that it has been a great challenge for me.
Que ha sido un reto grande para mí, que hay en Venezuela. Nosotros lo que estamos pidiendo es que esas
What we are asking is that those structures that are in place, that have plundered the country and left a trail of death and pain, be dismantled. Maduro currently has the opportunity to move forward with a peaceful transition.
avanzar en una transición pacífica.
Let's turn focus to sports now. India sealed a decisive 7-wicket victory over West Indies in the second test at Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi, completing a dominant 2-0 series sweep on Tuesday. Chasing a modest target of 121, India began the final day on 63 for 1 and required just 58 more runs for victory. West Indies secured 2 quick wickets, with Roston Chase dismissing both Sudarshan and captain Shubman Gill, but the target was too small to defend. Opener KL Rahul and wicketkeeper batsman Dhruv Jurel steadied the ship and ensured that there were no further scares. Rahul scored an impressive and unbeaten 58 to guide the hosts to first ever series win under skipper Shubman Gill. Kuldeep Yadav was adjudged man of the match for his superb bowling, while Ravindra Jadeja was named man of the series for his all-round performance. Australia will miss the services of leg spinner Adam Zampa and wicketkeeper Josh Inglis in the first home ODI against India in Perth on Sunday. Matthew Kunnerman and Josh Phillip have been called in as replacements for the much-anticipated series. Zampa will miss the fixture due to paternity reasons, while Inglis is recovering from a calf strain. Inglis will also miss the second ODI scheduled for next week in Adelaide, which will see Alex Carey's return to the 50-over setup. Carey is featuring in a Sheffield Shield match as part of his preparations for the Ashes, which will keep him out of the first match. The 3-match series between India and Australia will commence on October 19th. Canada's men's soccer team trained in New Jersey ahead of their international friendly against Colombia on Tuesday night. Players practiced at the Red Bulls training facility in Whippany, running drills and working on passing the sequences. The match will see FIFA's 30th ranked Canada, led by coach Jesse Marsh, take on Colombia in their first meeting in over a decade. The two teams have met 3 times earlier. Colombia has won twice, while Canada claimed victory in the 2000 CONCACAF Gold Cup final. That's it in this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. Now, this app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can download the respective QR codes. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.